Good morning. It's Friday, Erev Shabbat, the first day of Rosh Chodesh Iyar. This Shabbat, when just a few days ago we observed Yom HaShoah, in a few days we'll be observing Yom HaZikaron and celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut under circumstances that are without precedent. Many of us over the last decades have found themselves more often than not in Warsaw on a Shabbat like this, waiting to go to Israel, whether it be on the March to Living or other trips, and our hearts go out to the kids who were supposed to be on the march this Shabbat, but are home. And we hope that somehow that experience can take place in the near future after restrictions are lifted. But this Shabbat, this Erev Shabbat, I wanted to talk about something personal. Today is the 10th anniversary of the passing of my late father, Rabbi Dr. Rabbi Poupko Zatzal. My father passed away 10 years ago, and I just wanted to reflect on his life in a small way in connection to the Parsha. We're going to be reading Tazria Metzora tomorrow, and we should be doing it in Shul, but we're doing it on our own. And Tazria Metzora is always associated with the absolute necessity to avoid Lashon Hara, to avoid gossip and libel against others. And it reminds us of the power of speech. The power of speech to do great harm, and the power of speech to inspire and to do a lot of good. And Chaim V'Amavis B'Yad HaLashon, as we were always taught since we're children, the most powerful instrument any of us have is the power of speech. And this week's Parsha reminds us of the dire consequences of negative speech, of using that great gift of speech in a harmful and hurtful way. My father's life, one of the things I learned, of many things, was the power of speech to do good, the power of speech to give comfort, the power of speech to inspire, the power of speech to shape people's thinking about their lives and about their obligations. And it's an extraordinary gift that we all have. You know, when the rabbis categorized the different things of creation, inanimate objects were called the domim, vegetation was called tzomech, things that grew. The animal kingdom was referred to as a baal chai, the living things. And when the rabbis came up with a label for human beings, what were we called? Those who medaber, those who speak. It's our most distinctive quality. If you look at the Aramaic translation of the Torah, when it talks about Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim, God breathes life into man, the Aramaic translator Onkelos writes, Ruch memala, the power of speech. That's what makes us human. When God creates the world, the mechanism is speech. We're created in His image. Our most creative force is the power of speech. Too often, during this crisis and all the time, the power of speech is used to hurt and to criticize and to bring down. When the Chafetz Chaim, who was the great spokesman on these matters, heard about the telephone, he was frightened because it enhanced the capacity to do harm with the power of speech. Can you imagine what his reaction to Facebook would have been? I don't know why it is that people feel inclined to always go on and to criticize others, to see something wrong and to make it public. Whether on our own matters internal to the community or other matters, the idea that because there's a platform, it must be used. Because we have a keyboard, we must type. We all need to exercise a little more restraint and think about the consequences of our words and the consequences of the things we choose to share and to say to others. My father led a remarkable life, and he is missed dearly. And my father always exemplified that very important quality, the absolute necessity to use speech to uplift, to comfort, and to inspire. Let's use our power of speech, the power of that great gift that God gave us, to articulate that which elevates, not that which diminishes. And during this crisis, when people are living under stress and difficulty, it is hard sometimes to exercise restraint, but we must. We have to use this moment as a time where we come together and help each other and not think of ways to criticize and harm. And let's hope that, especially during these days of national significance, when we remember the tragedies of the past and the great triumphs, particularly related to the state of Israel, let's use these moments to unify and to bring us together, and to do so through the power of our speech. Shabbat Shalom.